Hey there cyclists, I've got a new video to put up for you. Obviously, as you can see by the picture, it is a helmet. It's a brand called Alpina, which I am not real familiar with. One of the cool things you can see about this helmet, obviously it's got a lot of venting, it's got a little bug netting in the front, but more importantly, this, believe it or not, is a child's helmet. Yes, that is right. It is a kid's helmet. This fits on my 4-year-old's head. And no, my 4-year-old doesn't have a giant head, but it's a kid's helmet. What got me started is looking at the typical kid's helmet, and let me scoot this aside just for a second. I've got two kids' helmets. And granted, one's more of a novelty kid's helmet, but they're both kids' helmets. As you can see, first off, they look like kids' helmets. This one's made by Bell. I believe a couple of the other big companies out there make ones that are meant for kids. It's got a little bit of venting on the top. Padding's okay, you know, typical cheap kid straps. They work, and of course when you're buying these, obviously you take into consideration that your kid's going to grow out of them eventually. This one here, of course the vents are on the top, and it's got padding, and actually this one came with actually more padding, so if your kid quite didn't fit in it, it's fairly deep. You can add some more pads in there to make it fit on a smaller head. But anyways, what got me started is I have a 4-year-old son, and I'm wanting to get him into cycling. Now I have one of those pull-behind buggies, and just recently got a pull-behind thing called a Weehoo. And what it is, it's almost like a recumbent bike where he sits in a little seat and he has his own set of pedals and he's able to participate and pedal. Well, that got me thinking that if he's going to be out on rides and doing rides with me, I want an adequate helmet that is going to be able to cool his head. And one thing that's overlooked that I haven't really seen much in children's helmets is adequate venting on the top. That's kind of a last, probably last idea type thing. This Angry Birds helmet over here, the vents are on top. There's no way that while you're riding, air is going to be drawn into that because they're completely on top. They're not profiled at all to draw it in, so really your head's going to get hot. So if it's a hot day outside, the sun's beating down on you, your poor little kid's going to fry in one of these. This one over here, it's a little bit better. It's got a couple more holes. If you look inside though, if I can get my camera to get a better picture of these, the holes are quite small. They're actually a little bit bigger on the outside, so it gives the impression that they'll let a little bit of air in, but they actually kind of taper down inside. And actually I think the padding even covers a couple of these holes up, so they're not real functional. So as you can imagine, you get your little kid out there on a 90-degree day and his poor little head is going to fry. So that got me on a hunt for a helmet that had adequate venting. I ran across this just by happenstance on eBay, and I was really impressed. It looks like an adult helmet. It looks like they put some thought into it. If I look at a front profile, you can see all these vents are designed to draw air into your head and keep you cool, just as a professional road bike helmet would look. If you flip it over, it's got quite nice padding all the way around. Very nice, thin, lightweight straps. It's kind of got a cool ratcheting buckle system. That's got a button that you pop the ratchet in and you push it to release. Really kind of neat. And also, just like an adult professional helmet, you've got a ratcheting adjustable back on it. with padding behind the dial. Fits extremely well on my 4-year-old son's head. I can able to cinch it up, and there is room in here that will allow him to grow into this a bit. Believe it or not, this helmet, which I didn't realize at the time, said it was made in Germany. The weight on this is 230 grams, and it comes with a built-in visor. Now, of course, I popped the visor off, but if you want a little extra, sunshade protection, you can pop the visor on, but it's removable. But the amazing thing is it cost a whole $14 plus shipping. So this was in euros, so I believe shipping was an extra €2 because this was shipped over from Europe. So with shipping and everything, $17, $18 for this whole helmet. I mean, tell me what helmet you can find with this kind of build quality, with these type of materials, for that cheap. Now, I mean, this is cheap. I believe these two helmets cost me more than that. And personally, I say these are junk helmets compared to this. I was just ecstatic of how nice this helmet was. I was a little skeptical because there wasn't much of a description. I did see a head size that it would fit, and that's kind of what I went off of. Also, I was looking for a light color. Sometimes you can find helmets for kids that maybe kind of look cool or got a cool graphic on them or design on them, but they're in a real dark color, maybe lots of black on them, or the hunter greens. Typically the dark colors are going to attract more heat. Now, of course, you've got this foam insulation, but if you think about it, you want light colors like whites, because white is shown to absorb heat and attract heat a lot less than, say, black. Now, of course, there's black on the front of it, but for the most part, you've got white on the sides, light colors, and lots of vents on it, which I think is really cool. Got this on eBay. Alpina helmet, made in Germany. It came with instructions, of course, in German. But if you really want to not skimp on your child's helmet, this is going to offer the protection, and it's going to be able to adequately cool your child's head when he's out riding, even if he's a little bit older. Say he's a 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old that has finally learned how to ride his bike, or if he's out with training wheels by himself. This helmet's really going to keep him nice and cool and protect him from getting overheated on some of those hot summer days. I know this week it's been 100 here outdoors. And granted, I wouldn't want my child riding around too much in 100-degree heat, but if he's able to sit in the back of a pull-behind thing, on cooler days, I would be worried that he'd be getting overheated, and I have to constantly remind him to drink water. This is one less thing that I know I'm not having to worry about, that, of course, his head's protected, and he is getting adequate ventilation, and keeping his head cool and lessening the chances of getting overheated and heat stroke. So yeah, let me know what you think. It comes in girl colors too, so it's got kind of a pink and white design on it. This happens to be the boy one. And yep, a whole $14 plus €2 worth of shipping. And I don't know what that translates in, but it wasn't a whole heck of a lot of money, and you got a helmet that I would have paid twice as much for. I mean, I would have paid, 30, 40, maybe $50 for a helmet like this, because it is that good a quality. I mean, the build qualities, I can't say enough good things about it. So, yep, check it out.